My name is Cassandre TRIBALET. You might say Cassandra, if it helps. I'm working as a climate specialist in the Food and Agriculture Organization. And today we are going to discover together the next tool. So this is the short name for the NDC expert tool. So hopefully today you would get a grasp of what the tool can be used for. You're not going to be a top specialist in using the next tool. As you will see, it's a quite complex tool, but hopefully you will see how it can be useful in your work on a daily basis. So, is it working? Oh. So let's have a look at the agenda of today. First, I'm going to present to you the next tool. With this presentation, should be around 20 minutes. And as I said before, the use for you, the interest for you is to understand why it was created, because every tool has a specific goal, no? So first to understand that together and what is its purpose or purposes and possible uses. We will do a warm-up exercise to see and have a short idea of how to use the tool. That should last around 20 minutes. So it would be the first time that we open together the tool. I hope that you all have the tool downloaded. If this is not the case, I can send you the link in which you can download the tool, but I believe it was in the email you received. So please, this is now the moment for you to make sure that you have the tool later on. So if it's not the case, you can do it now. It can be a little bit long to download depending on the connection that you have. And the final and hopefully longest and more interested part of this webinar will be the learning by doing, let's say, of the webinar. So an exercise on study case of a project that was conducted by the French Agency of Development. So that's the agenda of today's session. So as I said before, hi to everyone. For the last person that just joined us, we're going to talk about the next tool. So next is a tool developed by the Food and Agriculture Organization, and it's a carbon accounting tool that is specific to the AFOLU sector. So this is what we're going to discover today. For you to have an idea of why it was created and how it works, it's interesting for you to understand that it's part of a team that develops a different tool that have been developed to support specifically NDCs. So this is called the NDC toolbox. The first one that you have on the left is the ABC map tool. The last version was just put online, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. So if you're interested, you can have a look at that. The aim of the tool is to assess 3 main topics when doing the baseline or the projection for a project. By having a look at adaptation, biodiversity, and carbon. So the next tool is more or less incorporated within ABC map. So you will see similarities in the way, the type of information that you will have to provide to the tool. The one on the right, the NDC tracking tool, is to support countries in implementing their policies and see how they succeeded or not in implementing their NDCs and the results of them. So it's really a tracking tool per se. And the one that we're going to focus on today is the one in the middle, the next tool. So the nationally determined contribution expert tool that was created to support countries and other actors like project holders to assess and monitor past action, but also ongoing actions. And the idea is really to have a long-term vision. It's not only to see what the project could have, like the impact of the project today and in the period of the project, but it's really to see a long-term, to have a long-term vision, to go from a project vision to a policy planning vision. So this is really the work that we are trying to do in our team. So the next team, the next tool, sorry, as I said, to support countries in the planning and decision making. What we really do on a daily basis is really support countries, governments, many different actors in having this long-term vision. Even here inside FAO, the tool was really built on that idea that not only should we be able to assess a project, but we should have this opportunity or give this opportunity to see on a long-term vision how it could integrate into the vision of the country, into the policy, the long-term policy, low carbon policy of the country. So you will see how the tool can be useful on that regard. So this tool was built as a collaboration of the Food Agriculture Organization, the AFD, so French Agency of Development, and the German Ministry of Agriculture. Let's first start with the main objectives of the tool, because every tool, every carbon accounting tool has a specific use, specific goal, and this one was built with a specific purpose. As I said, is to have a long-term vision, but it was also to have an annual accounting, an annual JG evaluation of emissions, because when we were trying to support countries in their reporting to the UNFCCC, the team noticed that no tool was able to give an annual estimate of GHG emissions, and it was needed for different reporting to the UNFCCC. For the second round of NDC, then every 2 years for biennial transparency reports, a national GHG inventory report every 2 years, adaptation communication, and then every 4 years, national communication, and so on. So every country really needed to not only have this long-term vision, but also being able to see, okay, within 5 years, where would I be? Next year, where would I be? So to really have this vision, this annual vision. So that was the main goal of why we created the tool. It was to support countries in the different reports that they would have to communicate. I didn't mention before, but of course, if you have any question while I'm presenting this to you, please raise your hand or put a comment in the chat. Really, don't hesitate to stop in between the slides. There is no problem for me. So that was the main purpose of the development of the tool. And in short, what is next? It's an Excel-based tool first, and it is aligning with the enhanced transparency framework for the GHG accountability. So the methodology that we used is the one of the IPCC, and we are aligned with the recommendation of the enhanced transparency framework, because we want the tool to be used for national reports, official reports. So we were aware that we had to really align on the main let's say rules now of these reports. So it was created, as I say, to support estimation of annual GHG emissions, and not only over the implementation period, but also beyond, with a high disaggregation level of results. We have in the tool results that you can have for you have GHG estimates, but also non-GHG estimates. For instance, the amount of hectares that has been reforested or deforested, or the amount of hectares of crops that have been converted to agroforestry systems, for instance. So you can see on every year this amount of hectares, not only the estimation of GHG emissions that you are going to avoid or emit, but also different indicators. And also something that can be useful is that we have divided the results by type of gas. So you can see, of course, the by CO2 equivalent, the one that is more commonly used, but also only specifically for CH4 emissions or N2O emissions. And you can really track per gas the emissions. So that can be useful, for instance, for the global metal pledge that some countries have, like they pledged some specific goals to that. So they want to have a track of specifically the CH4 emissions. So an example of what you can do. The idea of the tool of Next is really to be as transparent as possible in the way you have results, for you to understand what's going on, why do you have an increase in emissions, why do you have a high potential in mitigation. You can really understand a lot of things that your policies are going to have impact on. Also, as I said, for this long-term vision, I have in the chat, sorry, some. Okay, perfect. We wanted to, with this tool, to have a very long-term vision. So this is why we provide a period of analysis running until mid-century. So it's a 30-year time series. In short, what it means is that if you start analyzing policies from 2020, let's say you have policies starting in 2020, you will be able to see the impact that this project or this policy has until 2050. Because changes in soil will not happen within 5-10 years. The recommendation of the IPCC is that the changes until the equilibrium in the soils will happen up to 30 years after the start of the implementation of a project. So this is really a specific point of Next that so far is not provided by other tools for the AFOLU sector, is this long-term period of analysis. So this also means that you can do ex post analysis. You can say, I want to start analyzing project that started in 2010 and see the results that the estimates of the mitigation potential that they have from 2010, so until 2040, because you will have these 30 years of analysis. You can also monitor. Let's say you did an estimate of the potential of the project that you started, like you're going to start a project now, you're going to make an estimation of the mitigation potential of the project, and maybe in 5 years, when you will know exactly what happened, what you implemented, what you did not implement, you will be really able to monitor the project as it really happened. That you will see while opening the tool together, exactly how it works. So the tool was built to support countries in monitoring, planning, and policy making, and all that in line with the enhanced transparency framework. And also we really use that tool to identify untapped mitigation potentials. Let's say that let's say for in example, sorry, that a country has or a project owner is going to do a project related to adaptation. But they can have with that project co-benefits for the mitigation, with the mitigation aspect, no? So we really have to see how to improve the way they will report their potential in mitigation, and see eventually, yes, what co-benefits has not been calculated or seen before. It can be used, as I said, for NDCs because it was used for that purpose, but also for projects. We work in FAO with the GEF unit, for instance, the AFD, as I say, that is going to use next for the estimate of the future project that they're going to implement. So project level, program, policies, and also long-term strategies. As we have this 30-year time series, it really means that we can go from a short vision to long vision. So we also work on that. You will have a short example right after in this presentation. So next, environmental indicators are in line with those reported in the national communication, and also some of those asked by international financial institutions. So we really tried to create a tool that could be well linked with what already existed, no? In the way we can report, in the information that the tool can provide. We really wanted this tool to be well integrated in the already existing ecosystem of international institution, national reports that countries must do, and so on. Sorry. So these are the 7 modules that are covered by NEXT. First, the forest land module, with the ability to account for deforestation activities, afforestation, reforestation activities, forest management activities. The crop and grassland module, this is more or less to calculate any emissions related to what is not forest. So, for instance, I put this example of annual crop converted to agroforestry, changing in soil management practices, water management in flooded rice. The flooded rice estimates is included in the crop and grass module. It's quite sophisticated, so you can really have good estimates for the flooded rice JG emissions that are not so easy to calculate. So the methodology is already inside this module. The wetland module for organic soils, coastal wetland, flooded land. For instance, if you're going to do mangrove restoration, this will be accounted for in this module. You have the livestock for manure management, for instance, practices. The nutrients one, that is for all the agricultural inputs. HWP, so harvested wood products, to see if you're going, for instance, to have plantation of trees specifically to use it as fuel wood or industrial brown wood. You would put information in that to have estimates. And the last one that we created, that is not quite, that it's not part of the IPCC definition of the AFOLU sector. So in the inventory, it will not go until like under the section of the AFOLU sector, but they are related to this sector. We created the energy module mostly for project owners that had the need to have, let's say, a vision on not only the field estimates of emissions, but also in other aspects of the projects.